What's up, everybody? It's Kenny Cummins here on Chilling with Kenny C. Super excited to be joined with my next guest, coming to you from the music city known as Nashville, Tennessee. This lady and her incredible bandmates has released an album recently, and we're going to talk about that project, and we're going to talk about what's next for the trio. Usually it is Nicole Boggs in the wheel, but you are joined with Nicole Boggs solo with me tonight. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's been a hot, humid day here in Tennessee. I'm guessing similar for you. And you're in Atlanta?
I'm at Kentucky, not that
Okay.
far from you, about
Okay.
3+ hours away
Okay.
from you, Lexington, Kentucky. It's pretty humid. We had a slight thunderstorm. My power went out for
Oh
about
no.
five for about 5 seconds, then just came right back on. Luckily, that was an hour before start time, so I had a little pause, like, oh boy.
Isn't it funny that we're living in a time where something something goes awry there and
Yeah,
you're kind of out of luck for the day,
yeah,
know?
pretty much. So I'm happy to have Nicole on here to talk about her band, to talk about this incredible album. Shout out to your good friend, Miss Kristen Lee,
Yes,
for she got some very talented music friends, I can tell.
she does.
So, and you are in your bandmates are plenty of them. Talk about before we get to the album.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how did this trio got together? How did Nicole Boggs and the Real join forces? Tell us a story behind how the band got together.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nicole Boggs and the Reel is made up of myself and Alex Kramer and Sam Gyllenhaal. Um, Alex and I have actually go back 10 years. So I moved to Nashville in 2011 and we met in 2012. So we've actually been playing music together in some iteration since then. And so that almost developed totally naturally. I was doing kind of a solo project and he was a hired gun that I would bring in to uh, play on my shows basically. And then he did a solo project and I came in and sang backgrounds on that and wrote a lot of the songs with him. And in that process, it just kind of melded into a unit. And Sam, I had known kind of the same amount of time, but he had actually moved back to Washington, D.C. for a while. And when he landed back in Nashville, he reached out to me to write. And we always joked that I blew him off for a year, which is kind of true. He had like tried to set an appointment and I was just like, couldn't find a slot to write. And when we finally met up, the song that we wrote ended up going on the first Nicole Boggs and the Real album. And then we decided to add Sam to the band. So now that's been about 5, 6 years now, and it's been the three of us ever since.
That's awesome. And I am very fascinated with this website, Nicole Boggs and thereal.com. I'm looking at the cast here and I have to get to the I had to get to the bio portion. So the wild card, that's Alex.
That's Alex.
I see hot sauce vinyl enthusiast, most likely to Irish goodbye. Takes his coffee with cream, sugar-free syrup, and he's a cancer, like
He's
yours truly. The Hook Boy, which definitely very, very clever. Sam, North Carolina, he prefers to live since hoots, most likely takes his coffee with oat milk like a socialist. Um, he's a Capricorn. And
yeah.
then there's you, the admiral of the mothership, Denver, Colorado native, a word nerve, wannabe therapist.
Yeah.
I have most likely to go on quiz. Takes her coffee black
Yeah.
The Capricorn. This is so fascinating. So we got the mothership, got the hook boy and the wild card. I had to mention this on this show. I had to. I
I'm
just
so glad you like it. I feel like there's so many, you're trying to stand out with your website, and I feel like people, every time I go look at one, there's so much boring information, and it's like we like our music can be pretty heavy and kind of serious at times, and I think that we want people to know that we also have a sense of humor, and like we know how to
yes.
have a good time. you know yeah.
You and the fellas are my type of musicians. You know, gonna be entertaining music sounds, but in between songs, we hit them off with the jokes, a little sarcasm on the side, and a little ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Those are the shows that really makes me excited. Like when the musicians can just hit them with a little joke in between. That's that is money well spent.
Yeah. And
That's
I
all
don't
that
I
matters.
don't take credit for all that. Alex is really the funny one. I just laugh at his jokes, and that makes it.
Well put.
Yeah.
So best way to describe Nicole Boggs and Will is that nice combination of essential blues and jets of rock and roll riffs and vindicated vocals into social commentary, holding a mirror to the absurdity of modern life.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
I
very, very deep. Uh, so just from your perspective, with all these sounds put together, rock and roll and blues, which is quite the combination. Nice gumbo, nice combination here and there. Talk about your musical influence. Who inspires you as far as influences, things like that?
There's so much inspiration that we're drawing from, and I think, I'll start with, at the core of it, I think all of us are kind of classic 70s rock and roll kids. So I think one of the things that drew us to each other is that we all grew up in musical families. So all of our parents are musicians, um, which I think kind of puts you in a position where you are experiencing a lot of diversity in music in your household growing up, where it's like my parents listened to everything. We were just as likely to be listening to Journey as we were to be listening to Sade, to like Tracy Bonham, to the Fugees. It was all over the place. Like I grew up on a lot of music, and I know that both of them feel similarly. So at its core, like we're kind of Beatles kids, and we're really inspired by harmony heavy 70s rock and roll. But all of us have had a lot of experience working as sidemen as well in the music industry. And so we're pulling from everything we've been a part of. And that's everything from jazz to classical to R&B, and kind of weaving it in with our lyrical perspective, which is really, really about social commentary and kind of talking about the world as we see it with a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek sense of humor.
Yeah, and I listened to this album and I play these songs on my Music Monday playlist, and it's very refreshing. I like how artists, just their approach on things, approach musically, and just being inspired from a certain era, and put their own spin to it and just makes it their own. It's and y'all currently reside in Nashville, Tennessee, which is pretty much the music city, the mecca
Yeah.
music city in this country.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to make your way into music. Seems like I've made a lot of friends in Nashville. Those that either lived in Nashville or moved to Nashville. And obviously, it's mostly known for country music. But when you call yourself Music City, then it's more than just one genre. It's you're gonna get all sorts of music like any other place. And I've heard all sorts of music, and they have an incredible local scene as far as artists, bands, hip hop artists, all the genres. They got everything for you. They like the meal that you like to go to. They got it all. They got
Yes.
all the flavors. They got all the all of that. So I love this album, and I'm glad to have featured Nicole Boggs in the wheel on my Music Monday shows. And I'll just put it out there. They're gonna be included for the remainder of the year. As
Oh,
far
thank you
as
so much.
put y'all in the rock category, and just gonna keep playing music. I might play the whole album, um, pretty much for the rest of the year.
Oh,
It's
that means so much to me. Thank you. Thank you.
so
And thank you for listening to the whole thing.
yes, and I enjoyed it. I feel like anytime when people say, "Hey, you gotta listen to these artists," I'm become quite the open-minded person as far as listening to someone once, and I had the few songs in, fell in love with this record. I really did. It's and it has that old school feel that people can vibe to, dance to, and jam it. Uh, so I want to, speaking of this album, talk about this album, which was released recently. Um,
Came out
correct,
Monday, August 1st.
came out on Monday, 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So what? A few days in, how you feeling about this album being released and people's reaction to this record?
We're feeling so good about it. It's we've been at this for a long time. We've been a working band for years at this point, and it feels really good to reach a point where you start to really like your music, where it's like I feel secure about what we're making at this point. The response has been really amazing so far. We're really excited. We have a release show coming up at the end of the month here in Nashville, and it's in one of our favorite rooms called Analog. I think it's going to be a really special night. But yeah, so far, I don't think we got to talk much about it, but it's called Dystopian Book Club because I was rereading a lot of classic dystopian fiction like Brave New World and 1984, Fahrenheit 451 during the pandemic. And we ended up just talking about the themes in these books a lot and how they intersect with our current reality, like the internet, for example, being this kind of wild west where we have all these benefits from it, but there's also this downside to people's mental health and like self-esteem, and the list goes on. So we really felt like as we're maturing into this space musically, we wanted to talk about some stuff that is maybe a little bit bigger than just girl loves boy, boy loves girl, not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but yeah, we got really excited about these themes and kind of wove them throughout the album. So uh, it's feeling good to have that whole vision come to life, I guess.
It's definitely a creative album name. Like it really makes you think, like especially if you're into the type of things that y'all into.
Yeah.
It's definitely an incredible project. Definitely a must listen. Go check it out. Nicole Boggs in the Real Dystopian Book Club. It's the name of the album. Came out 3 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they will have, as Nicole pointed out, an album release, and it will include Craig Haler and Alicia on the bill. And get your tickets for that particular show. But before that album release, they're going to be at Historic Wax Castle Summer Songwriter Night, 8 p.m. at Henderson. And Miss Boggs, it looks like you coming to my city next month.
Are you in Lexington?
guilty as charged.
Awesome. Okay, great. Please come to the show.
Yeah, as I see um at Al's Bar, September the 8th. I'm there. I'm just gonna have to tell my friends, like, I'm sorry. I'm going to see Nicole and the guys.
Yes, please
Yes,
do.
I'm there.
It'll
So,
be so nice to meet you.
yeah, so Kristen, thank you. Thank you. Not only you introduced me to this talent, but I get to meet them in person. It's gonna be great. So September the 8th, go check out the website, NicoleBoggsandTheReal.com for more info on the shows. They're going to be in Tennessee. They're going to be in Ohio.
Yeah.
They're going to be in Illinois, Iowa, Indiana. So they're going to be in the Midwest. They're going to be in the South. And they're going to be everywhere. So go check them out. Nicole Boggs and the Real in Lexington. Now we know September the 8th, Al's Bar. Please be there. I know I will. I usually do shows on Thursdays, but when a show like yours happen, I'm putting the show to the side so I can see you and the guys in person.
Oh, that's
So
such an honor. I'm
um,
very excited to meet you in person.
yes, so I am there. Best believe. So now that the album's coming out, is out already, and you gotten the feel for it, and art and fans have listened to it, and you also get a chance to perform these songs in front of crowds. Uh, Obviously, like there's a lot of hard work put into being a musician, independent musicians, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact. You gotta be your own promoter. You gotta make waves. You gotta go through all these hurdles. And so how are you feeling, dealing, with everything, with the challenges of being the independent musician? How do you feel going through that?
It has been a roller coaster of a journey. I think we kind of look back at our 20s and I think we kind of believed that like help was just going to show up, as everyone does when they're in their idealistic 20s. And you kind of realize over the course of time that like no one's coming to hand you your dreams, that you have to make the opportunities happen. And I think throughout the process of making this record, we've learned so much and like developed a strategy that really seems to be working for us. So Alex handles all of our graphic design, and Sam is actually a videographer. So he handles all of the editing. In that world, we sometimes bring someone in to film, but he'll take care of it on the back end. And then I kind of run the whole business structure, managing the website, doing the booking and PR and everything in between. And we really have like learned essentially how to do the job of a small label. I mean, obviously we're doing it on a very small level, but after years of spending thousands of dollars on things and not getting great results, we really have kind of taken things into our own hands. And I think we still have a long way to go, but it feels really empowering to learn new skill sets and just go, okay, if nobody's gonna do this for me, then I better learn how to do it myself. And I think we've really tackled that head on this release. And it feels like a really big achievement to see all this stuff you built yourself.
Yeah, that's definitely has to be very satisfying.
Yeah.
Like when it's all when the recording process is done, and then this album becomes available to the public, and you're getting these social media reactions like this album's incredible, exclamation points, fire flames, all
Yeah.
that good stuff. That's definitely rewarding as far as, man, this is why we do, this is why musicians do what they do for a living, just to get that joy. It's like a Christmas feel. You wake up midnight and then you go get to those gifts, and it's like, it's here. It's really here. Like, oh, it's just so satisfying. And props to all of you independent musicians for what y'all do. For doing it your way, no major later backing, none of that. Just it's coming from y'all.
Yeah.
It's coming from the heart and just being authentic. I love what I hear from Nicole Boggs in the realm. And congrats on the album release and everything that follows. Y'all are in for an incredible remainder of the year with these shows. And the album release will be in by the end of this month. So it's definitely gonna be a party.
It's
A
gonna be a fun.
party.
Yes. Yes.
Party. Yeah. I mean, with the vibes that y'all showing, and the music that y'all do, got, come, get yourself nice suit, get your nice dress, get the 70 feels or whatever works with you style wise. But just make sure you go in there knowing you're gonna enjoy the music and you're gonna have a good time at the end of the day. Because Nicole and company, they're gonna put on a show. So check out Nicole Boggs in the Real.com for all the details for upcoming shows and the album. Go buy it. Go spread the word. Go do what you got to do. Just let people know. Um, Nashville got a talented music scene locally, so and independent artists out there. So I'm so happy to have you on the show, Nicole, and I'm gonna be even more happy meeting you and the fellas in person on September the 8th at Alice Bar. So Lexington, we like music too. We like some music, regardless of
Lexington
the
has a
name.
great music scene.
Yeah, yeah. I've been blessed to know some talented musicians in this city, and just we got a lovely scene out here. So and some of these artists have come to Nashville, moved to Nashville
Yeah.
to further their music dreams. So yeah, well, we excited. We really excited to see y'all. And I'll be meeting y'all for the first time. Thank you, Nicole, for your time. Um, tell your bandmates, tell your castmates, tell the hook boy and the wild card, Sam and Alex. I say hello, and I look forward to meeting all three of you in on September the 8th at Alice Bar. Thank you so much. Continue success with this album and the shows ahead. Thank you so much, Miss Boggs. I appreciate you.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much.
Much love. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
You too, Kenny.
All right, bye bye. All right. That was